All right, so we got almost all the pieces welded here. Still have a few left, but it's been a good morning of welding, getting all the pieces in place. The brackets, I put these one in backwards, so they should be facing outwards because this is for a future TV mount. So that's a little bit of a problem. I was just in the mode and was putting them in wrong. So I put 3 in wrong by accident. This is the reinforced section for my electrical input. This is just an extra one we had, so we just threw that in. This is for our spotlight. So probably 60% of the welding is complete. We still have a few up here. I didn't do all this because I still have a lot of my tools and stuff up here, so I'll do the nose next. There's still have to still have to cut out a few still, but majority of it's done. And then the last big push, all the hard stuff, will be the roofing. So all the roofing will come along here. As you can see, the markings are all set and in place. Just have the pieces cut. Just have to grind out the paint along these roof cross members. Once the paint's ground out of the way, kind of similar to what I did here, then I can basically do all the overhead welding. But it's coming along. I mean, once all these supports are in place, then we can put all the walls back up. And once we get all the walls back up, then we're going to be able to do the insulation. So just before we put the walls up, we'll go down, we'll buy a bunch of insulation. We'll probably put a few of the walls up, but we may not need them with the braces. I'm a little... the braces, I didn't want to drive it without the wood because the wood would actually help to brace it and keep it stabilized while it's driving down the road. It was a little wobbly, but now with the braces and everything in place, I feel a lot more confident in its inability to kind of shift and move while I'm driving down the road with all the wood off. So we can go get the sheets of insulation, and then we'll start cutting insulation. I think we're going to end up doing a 1/2-inch insulation, and then in some areas, you know, like this and these where it's pushed back a bit, we may end up doing an extra sheet, you know, and do a full inch. It is 1-inch thickness, so if we do half, that'll still give us a little bit of space to run any additional electrical stuff like that. But I've already got some channels done with electrical, so those may end up being the channels that I run the electrical in, since I won't have to deal with braces and then having to send electrical in and around those braces. I've got a couple already, so it's not a big deal to just stay in those tracks where I already have existing electrical. So I went through a lot of the electrical here, and I rewired and protected it on some. Some were additional lights that I installed. So you can see I fixed up some of this stuff, put some protective plastic around each of the wirings. Lot in here. In this area, you can't really see it with the reflection, but it's there. It's protected. This one here is protected. Fix this one up, ran it up there, and I've got some extra exterior lighting that I hooked together. So that one runs in there and then down. And as you can see, I grounded directly to the frame. Each of those lights. We'll have some more up there. We do have. I did install a main grounding plate right here, which we'll probably do again. And most likely, what I'll do here is I'll just connect my main ground from my electrical system to this. So yeah. My main electrical will be like right here, mounted to the wall, right in this area. So I have my input coming in for charging, etc., and then that'll come directly to my battery bank and the back side of my electrical panel. And then from there, all the electrical will run out. We'll service 120 from the inverter and the AC distribution panel, which will probably be somewhere in here, this area. And then we'll have the DC will also come out from there and will extend through the rest of everything. But that'll be a whole separate video. So this is still early construction and production still. All right. All right. Right around here, I had a few of the roof braces left to go, but they still needed to grind a few down, fit them in place. With the other braces, it did move some of those cross members just enough where it became enough to make them just a little bit smaller than what the ones I had cut. So that was essentially what was going on here. These last few pieces, I kind of had to manipulate a little bit just to make sure that they would fit in. I could weld them, trying not to either grind off too much or too little. So it was kind of just going back and forth, checking which ones would fit where, which ones could fit where. So that's kind of what's going on in this little section right here.
it's time to rock and roll.